I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with Only Murders in the Building co-creator and showrunner John Hoffman. John, season three was so ambitious. You managed to have this delightful and heartfelt making of a musical story, all but the recognizable murder mystery at the framework that this show that we know it for. So Death Rattle Dazzle needs a Broadway run, don't you think?
Totally. At off Broadway at least.
Off Broadway first, and then yeah.
Or maybe like there's other talks about something like that. I won't tease until we're closer to it, but there's another little talk about that happening, which I would love.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. I know. To honor,
That's
I mean,
yeah.
Pasek and Paul and all the great songwriters who came aboard for that, and then just that crazy show that was happening in the middle of our show, hopefully integrated. But yes, that was what I was trying to do, was like, and I didn't, it was ambitious, but I don't know if you're going to have that group of people making a television show. I was like, basically, let's swing for the fences.
Yeah, and you certainly did, and season three so far, I think, is arguably the best season to date, and
Oh,
that's saying
Rob,
something. I
thank
loved
you
it.
so much.
No, I really there's a lot of pressure when you the first season was so acclaimed, so was season two, and you think, okay, how am I going to top that? But it hit all the highs that we look forward to. That musical element, though, it just elevated it to another level, I think. And I just then was wondering, was there ever any hesitation when you first embarked on season three about taking a risk like that?
Yes and no. I come from a odd background as an actor and a performer before I was writing. And so I spent a lot of time sort of, oh no, I can't go here. But it's okay, yes. But I did this children's television show for the Disney Channel 1,000 years ago, and we made 100 episodes of a show where we did four musical numbers each episode, written by Mark Mothersbaugh, and big productions and big sort of that whole thing. So that was happening. That was in my DNA. And when we were making that show, I still had this sort of, I relied on that in my sort of gut to know that, well, okay, I know what this is, to sort of add this element in. And I think not the challenge, but the awareness had to be forefront that whatever this musical was, it had to be organically brought into our show. It wasn't going to be the musical season of Only Murders, that it had to be brought in through the character of Oliver, and what would his musical be if he was taking a straight play mystery and turning it into a musical. So that had to lead the way. And then it was really just about convincing everyone aboard that we could pull it off. And hopefully, I mean, there was enough trust in the first two seasons that they said, okay, let's give that a whirl. And then, damn, I got a lot of good help. I mean, that was an amazing group that put that together. And um, I, I, I feel so proud of it, honestly. I do. I feel like I can't believe we were able to do it in many ways. Just the allowance to do it, everything that it takes to pull something like that off. But really the weave of keeping our narrative tied into what that had to be for the mystery, for the romance stories we were telling, for the comedy, and also to keep in touch with the investment in Oliver's wish and dream that he get this shot finally for a show
Yeah.
to go up on Broadway. That's what I really cared about most.
Yeah, talk about feel good TV. I mean, that certainly was for sure. You know what? When I was in New York over Christmas, I walked up to the Belnord building on the Upper West Side, and I stood there just because that was my only murders pilgrimage with my daughter and son. And
Oh,
as we stood there, it reminded me of everything I love about this show, and specifically the writing, the unexpected plot twists that I never see coming, but I never feel cheated. And I'm just curious how much planning and reworking of the scripts is involved so that each plot twist lands properly. Like, is it really, really challenging to get that right?
yes, Rob, it is. I can't lie. I honestly can't. I've never done anything as challenging in so many ways. And I've never relied so much on the great, heavy hitting, unbelievably talented writing staff on this show. Everyone to a person involved is brilliant. And great stewardship from Dan Fogelman too. And it's all got to be everyone stepping up. We had a season of television where in our little half-hour comedy, Meryl Streep decided she was going to join. So in every way, it felt like, okay, we're stepping up. And we had to give them something worthy and something they would feel good about. That's all I cared about throughout the whole thing was sort of, I wanted everyone to sort of feel good about what they were given and what they were doing and honor their huge talent, but also the mystery side and the twists and everything else that comes along is a painstaking process. A 10 episode mystery is a very different thing from a 2 hour movie of a mystery, and to stretch that across 10 episodes and keep twists alive and deepen the characters' investments and have them reflect upon themselves as you're going along, plus comedic set pieces.
Right.
All of that is a challenge, but the truth is when you're making it, I'm here every day on set. I heard Chuck say that earlier. I'm on set every day with everything, and it's very much a protective thing, and you're really having to hold all 10 episodes in your head when you're actually shooting episode 1 through 10, so
Wow.
that you're mindful of what's coming, that you're catching the thing you need to catch that will play out in episode 7. All of that. So in other words, with Loretta and the big secret that's going on with her, the moments that are happening in episode 3 that might point a viewer upon second viewing to the after the reveal of what the secret is for Loretta, that you feel resonance there, that you might have missed on the first viewing. All of that has to kind of be consciously held together and protected, I think, in some way. So yes, there's development and further augmentation as you go along, but really it's a bit surgical.
Wow. And it just, I just thought everything just happened so easily, but obviously not. And everyone wants to talk about Meryl Streep, of course. Her stature in the industry, to me and to many of us, she's the greatest of all time. Um, she really goes for broke in this. I was so enamored by her performance, and I just was wondering, just as a purely as a fan, perhaps, if you want to, what's the highlight for you when you're watching her do her work, her magic on set? What is the thing that will always stick with you?
Oh my goodness. The privilege, but I got to direct the first 2 episodes, and the first episode holds her introduction and this sort of speech that I co-wrote with Sass Goldberg, and so it was a lot on the line that way, and sort of capturing that and letting Meryl be Meryl, but Meryl in a new way. And what I love about her so much, and to this day, she's been just incredible to work with. She came into this with this real open-minded feeling and wanting to hang and be in the joy of the show, with everyone involved. But when I first spoke to her about it, I was introducing her to her part. I hope I haven't told this story to you guys, or I might have told this story somewhere, but it was the remarkable moment when I was laying out over Zoom her character's arc for her for the first time. And I said, we start the season with you, and we show you as a 10-year-old girl going to your first Broadway show from St. Louis, and you're seeing a production of No Strings. And then it was literally, I couldn't go on. And she said, I saw that show. And I was like, what? And she said, I must have been about 10. And she said, I'll never forget it. Diane Carroll was in it, and I remember her singing this beautiful song, and she sang the song like the first, and I said, okay, you gotta stop this. You have to stop right now, because it's preposterous what's happening, because on the first page of the script that I'm going to send you after we hang up are the lyrics to that song, and it's your character watching the show. And that was kind of how it happened over and over again. It sounds crazy, but that was a moment for me, and it felt like, I don't know, she came in, she said, I feel like I'm part of the Berliner Ensemble, which is a great theater
Yeah.
group, from legend, and it felt that way with everyone. She has a way of disarming you with her, all of that stuff that makes her the greatest, and then she gets to work, and she has a way of making everyone feel that's not the case, that she's a part of the fabric of everyone. And I just crazy about her, and nobody can do that thing in the way that she can. And I just feel really relieved, Rob, very relieved that she feels good about what she did and had the time that she had doing it.
Wow, that story is incredible. And yeah, what an amazing experience that you're having on this show. And I wish we could keep you here all day, but John, I know you're very much in the thick of season 4. I'm expecting my socks to be blown off. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for
It's
your
so
insight.
nice to talk to you again, Rob, as always. Yeah, thank you.